Okay, well, that's that's interesting. Why this isn't cordoned off? Seriously, why isn't this cordoned off? I'm wondering, is the city doing this, or are these individuals? I definitely won't be jogging here. Some of us, like I said, now I'm starting to think this isn't the city. This is... That's still wet. No, nothing that tells you. So I'm sitting there thinking, oh, I'll just walk in the street. And then there's that one fucking idiot that always comes down the street when I'm thinking that. See where this fucktard's headed. Moron. What a fucking moron. Damn. Like the way they're handling this whole thing, they just block the street off. Boys, I'm kind of glad I got my goggles on. By the way, I'm talking bad about these goggles because they're so big. I got them wrapped around my head and I was like, but I realized that it's bigness. I can see everything in these goggles, man. I got a wide angle. I got clear night vision. I might be able to see clearer with them than without them. I've seen some have some kind of anti-glare stuff in them. Yeah, these things are kind of expensive, but they're worth it. Now I gotta see if they're gonna fog up. Hurry up, you stupid moron. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm not coming back here. Other than that, it's nice out here. It's cold, but it's not too cold. This is great running weather. Unfortunately, it's also apparently moron driving weather. Windows World, huh? I can't remember. That's who we went with. It's sad that I don't know who installed the windows in my house. I remember all the people that came through and wasted my time. I remember Champion Windows with their overpriced windows. I remember American Windows, the guy just came in there and he acted like he was giving us the privilege of even considering us. He's like, well, we're just looking for some families that might be interested. Whatever. Well, congratulations. We usually reserve this for the rich people, but we're going to come out of you poor people's neighborhood and offer you the chance to have our windows. And they all did the same thing. They take their little window sample and they put the heat lamp next to it, and I was like, Champion made me laugh most. We have double hooks. They make sure that you can't break into this. And then we spray foam inside of our frames for added heat comfort. I think I've talked about this before. Anyway, that just kind of put me off, man. I knew going down Davila would be bad. I just didn't know it'd be that bad. I figured I was like, okay, I can at least still use the sidewalk. They didn't wipe out the sidewalk. And I don't know if it's the city that decided to do this, or everybody in that neighborhood just decided to have their driveways done. Like, I have a really hard time believing that this city that's quote-unquote strapped for cash and tries to dump everything off on the homeowner would be paying to put driveways in people's houses. Like I said, that looks to me like one of the neighbors had a concrete business and says, hey, for this much money, I'll offer to do your driveway. Because I guess the question becomes, why didn't they do this street? Or are they working their way up? It doesn't make any sense, because they started that end. They got the street utterly destroyed. And then they got on this end. Is it a pincher thing? You start on the ends and then you move in? I can tell it's definitely a nice night out here. I didn't want to start now though. I wanted to start an hour ago. But it never works out that way. Yeah, I might be wearing wearing these goggles from now on. And again, I said that about the last ones, and the foam came off of them. Of course, they were cheap goggles. They were never supposed to be. I bought them because I was trying to get the mask, and they came with the goggles. Then I started using the goggles, and I said, "Man, this is what I've been missing." Like this street is torn up. Nobody's getting their sidewalk done. Which they really don't have to. was just thinking about there. DC doesn't have poor superheroes. Clark Kent, middle class. Bruce Wayne, rich. Hal Jordan, or whoever you decide you want it for your Green Lantern. High-ranking military man, military officer. You know, gets paid pretty well. Fighter pilot. Let's see who else we got. We got Wonder Woman, royalty. Aquaman, royalty. The Flash, middle class. Meanwhile, Marvel never leaves New York. The only four superhero I can think of is Spider-Man. Poor orphan. After that, you got mostly rich guys. Spider-Man's the poor orphan, and then everyone else is following the DC formula. Princesses, billionaire industrialists. There are no poor superheroes. No, the lights don't do it for me this year. And most of that is because this is the time of year when I usually up my mileage. And so I get to go to the rich areas, and they just go all out when it comes to Christmas decoration. This big, giant, stately mansion, that's already, you know, pretty much a gawk fest. Is now adorned with lights. And the people around here, they try, but a lot of dudes here just kind of veer into that cheap, tacky territory. Whereas the rich stay in the elegant and ornate category. Like coming up here, this is ornate. Bright. Not a lot of clash. Everything's spaced nicely. Everything wraps and around and conforms to the nature. It lights up the nature instead of camouflaging it. I don't know if a real family lives here. I just know that they go all out every year. The reason I say I don't know if they're a real family is I look at these people's neighborhoods and I'm like, who doesn't put blinds in their windows? Like, everyone here seems like they're trying to advertise. And to me, that just, I don't know, I keep, ever since I saw that David Duchovny movie, I think it's called The Joneses. I don't believe that real people live in these rich houses. I think I've said that before. I think they're just a bunch of actors, and like corporations are buying up big houses and then they're filling them with actors and trying to sell more product. But even the Rich Man Street I'm going down, Watauga, they don't seem to go all out. Now they seem like genuine people. What I mean is, like, they're people who actually, you know, that actually do live in the houses and they work jobs. You hardly ever see them. When you do see them, they don't look like they're trying to get the latest and greatest. They're not showing off their wealth. And they value their privacy. The only thing that makes me suspect them is that they always seem to be conveniently taking out trash. They're conveniently walking the dog when I come around. Sometimes I've come around pretty late. Here it is. You know, halfway past. 30 minutes till. I'd be shocked if I see anybody out there in that right now. I was looking at the news, and apparently now you can track your county's hospital and see how many, just how bad COVID is in your area. And for the most part in this area, we are in the yellow. But the hospital staff seem to be able to meet the demand. Like in Dallas, the hospitals are starting to fill the capacity. Now, like they said before, in the city, in the inner cities, and the underserved areas, they're starting to get in the red. I was looking at Charleston Methodist, and they were almost full up. I was like, okay. Parkland's partly getting there. They seem to be able to handle it. I was looking at it, I was like, Parkland's pretty much always at capacity anyway. So what that tells me is most of the people in this city have been following the guidelines. Doesn't look like we've had a big Thanksgiving surge, but it doesn't look like we've exactly had a decline either. They ticked up a little bit. like somebody was street racing. What do I think about Silicon Valley people moving here to Texas? Took you long enough. I mean, seriously, like this is not really anything new, because back in the 80s, Dallas was, or yeah, the Texas Richardson Dallas region was like the mini Silicon Valley. This was the gateway to which everybody went through to get their products down up to the east and everywhere else. This was a transportation hub. You know, they tried it out in California. It was a nice place to start, but they've outgrown it. Is it going to be great for Texas? No. It wasn't great for Aspen, Colorado. It wasn't great for Missoula, Montana. Anytime these folks from California come over someplace, they talk about how much they appreciate the place they're going to, and then they change it. So it'll be a matter of time before they just get tired of Texas and want to move somewhere else. They're like locusts. But for the 20 years or 30 years that they're here, all I got to tell our new arrivals is don't expect much. I mean, that's why you moved here, right? Because this place was just, you know, this is the bastion of freedom. But in Texas, you are on your own. That homeless farm you try to run away from in California, we got that here too. Okay, just had to test to see how I'm feeling. I'm all right. I don't know if I'm gonna do 2 or 4. I just know that 2 seems like it'd be a waste of time. I realize that as I say this, I'm going to be running up and back. It's a quarter mile each time I do one of these. But I don't know, maybe it's just the reps. Part of me thinks of going back and doing the other one. The only reason I don't do this other, my old school one, is because I hate stepping up and down off the curb. And I hate dodging garbage cans. You know, I'm already tired and exhausted going up the hill, and next thing I got to do an obstacle course too. And I know I'm not. So you complain a lot. I was like, I do. I'm not Jerry Rice. Nobody's paying me millions of dollars to run up a grass hill, and that gives me an advantage on the field. I'm just a dude out there trying to get my heart rate up a little bit, get my blood pressure down. I don't need to do an obstacle course for that. I guess as I'm getting older, I just tolerate less. Pretty sure Jerry Rice ain't running that course anymore either. But you never can tell. Some of these guys that eat like they did when they were training. Some of them, maybe they're still training like they did. I doubt it though. But I did notice one thing about the Silicon Valley folks and everyone else. Nobody's coming to Dallas. They're going to Austin. They're going to Austin because I guess it's got like the laid-back culture like San Francisco. They're going to Houston because they seem to be built for business, but nobody's coming to Dallas. I don't think Elon Musk could do it here. I think he took one look at Dallas and said, yeah, you got something else. I was like, nobody wants to move. Nobody wants to move to the Pittsburgh of Texas. Yeah, this is none of my business. Like I said, it's never the people that live here, it's the people that work here. I don't know what they're doing in that house and I don't care. I just hope they're gone when I get back. Oh man. As I'm talking to my GoPro, I'm wondering if the batteries I bought are shitty batteries. Like I popped in the one yesterday and it says I got a 20% charge. So I put a fresh battery in today and it says 75%. I'm like, okay. Maybe it's the charger. We'll find out. I got this one because you can replace the battery out, but I was like, as I'm doing it out in the field, this thing was not built. Like my other one, the battery door popped off a long time ago, and it actually made it pretty convenient to change out the battery. Just pulled on a little strap, pulled it out, popped in the other one, turned it on. This one, I gotta bend the bracket back, pop it out, take the camera out, take the battery cover off of it, pop it out, pop the new one in, put the battery cover back on, try to wiggle it all back in there. Like you can't do that on the move. Changing out the battery in this thing is like trying to reload a front-loading musket. Whereas my other one was like changing out the cylinder in an old revolver, an 1854 revolver, or maybe even almost like auto loading. Like not auto loading, yeah, using an auto loader on a revolver. And I dream of changing out the battery and devices is about as easy as changing out the magazine on an automatic pistol. machine gun. Slides out, pop in the new one. Ready to rock. I don't know if GoPro considers these things. I understand that they're just trying to make it waterproof and all that other stuff. Okay. I'm thinking of whoever is turning 12. The last thing they want is a big giant balloon thing announcing it. I don't know. I think after age 10 it gets to be kind of old hat. I guess everybody now knows that they get a 12-year-old girl this year. I'm like, great, wonderful. Congratulations on your beginning. Entering sucky adulthood. I tell you, ever since I cut down on my mileage, my knees feel great. They feel better anyway. Especially when I'm not wearing all this gear. Well, the final verdict. There's no such thing as goggles for joggers. I mean, it doesn't fog up, but the problem is it still gets wet inside of it. So it's unfair to me to assume that such a thing could ever be produced. The best thing I could have done was buy the wipers. Problem was they were charging me $5 a ship on. I'm like, the unit cost of the device itself only cost like $6. Actually, no, what was it? Yeah, $5 for the wiper, $6 to ship it. I'm like, okay. I hate it when that happens. So I'm wishing I could find a place. I would have to find a place that like maybe sells airsoft guns, and maybe they got a bunch of these in stock, or a bunch of those in stock. Anyway, if I was walking, these probably wouldn't fog up that bad. Since I'm running, sweat forms inside of my forehead and just starts dripping down. Like I said, they don't fog up, but water does collect on the inside of them, and sweat. It gets on the lens because it's just pure sweat. It's not water vapor that condensed on the lens. It is sweat from my forehead. Splatters on the inside of the... So how do you get around that? I can't wear goggles when jogging. They'll have to be just plain old fashioned glasses. I got those. The weird thing is, how does the dog even know I'm here? He can't smell me, he can't hear me. Could that dude actually see me from way back over there? And if the dog can see me, then there's no excuse to people. Like, he sees the light and he's like, oh. Foreign agent, and he starts barking. It also tells me that somebody's in there now. Yeah, I guess someone is there. In fact, yeah, because the privacy bushes weren't there before. What does it say? Okay, yeah. So somebody from St. Monica bought this big ostentatious house. I wonder if they got a bargain for it. Doubtful. The kind of people that would live there are the kind of people that don't mind splurging. either this. I'm looking at that car, and it keeps slowing down and stopping. I was like, are they looking for somebody? My inner Karen is telling me they're up to no good. I better call the cops. Like, no, calm down, Karen. That's my inner Bob. My inner Bob, you know, he loves Karen to death, but sometimes she drives him crazy. Bob says, mind your business, Karen. Yeah, the problem with Karens is they stopped listening to Bob a long time ago. Bob just gave up. Bob divorced Karen, and he married the much younger and much more sensible Marsh. All the Bobs of the world, instead of keeping the Karen subdued, are now chilling with Marsh. Katya. There we go. Yeah, Katya. Let's go with Katya. Bob doesn't need Karen anymore. He's got Katya. The only reason he was tolerating Karen was because he was trying to be patriotic and always going for Made in America. Karen got too expensive and difficult to handle, so he went foreign. Okay. A lot of people putting their trash out. Maybe they're all leaves. I used to do all that. Remember, brother, what he does, he takes the lawnmower and he goes over the leaves a couple of times and then goes back home. And what he told me was basically the leaves make great mulch. You shouldn't put it in bags and have it hauled away. You should be like grinding it up and using it for fertilizer. Makes sense. Especially since I read that news report about how the next crisis that's coming around the bend, because the news wants you to stay scared, is soil depletion. And how the bacteria in soil is dying. And the reason is very simple. It's the soil is exhausted. Between the fertilizers and the constant use, even the microbes in America are overworked. And so they were saying that, you know, when you rotate crops and rotate the fields and just give the soil a chance to rest up, then it's not a big problem. You can't tell that to somebody on the supplied side. Is like, just keep making product. Uh-oh. Damn it, now everybody knows I'm here. No, don't run. That's what they want you to do. The dog trips me out. I hope there was nobody behind him. Because now they're going to think that I was doing that to them. And I was like, no. I was messing with your dog, man. Don't mess with my dog. Why are you in this neighborhood? I was like, I'm doing this thing called walking. Men incredibly have been doing it for millennia. Try it sometime. Uh-oh. was looking back there and I saw that darkness and thinking to myself, somebody's getting ready to tear down that mansion. Like on this street, you can't tear down anything because some of these houses are they're trying to get them preserved as historical monuments. There was one, I think it was made in the 30s. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom mansion, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I was like, okay. And this thing was built in the 1930s. Looks like a big looks like a castle. I think it was like a little apartment built for somebody's daughter, some wealthy industrialist's daughter, by a famous architect. And I was like, huh. I was like, I walk by there all the time. I never noticed that. I never picked up on that. It's either on this street or it's in this neighborhood. I know it's around here. Okay, well, there's that guy again. They stopped the car and asked me, what are you doing out here? I just keep walking. I'm like, I don't hear what they're saying. Motherfucker, I don't answer to you. Holy cow. Yeah, that's them. Trying to run me off the road. I got 10,000 steps. I wasn't trying to. I was hoping to keep it at 10,000. So this might be what I do from now on. I'll go do 4 of them and then come back, and that'll be the new norm. And I feel like I can do more, I'll do more. But I guarantee you the extra ones I do, that won't, like I said, I'll do 2 of them fast, and I won't do more than 2 of them fast. I hate to admit it though, but like I said, I got the idea from he had some guy from Ultimate Fighting on there for the Joe Rogan experience. And what happened was I got curious about one episode, and then YouTube says, oh, you're curious about one? And it'll keep recommending them. And the reason that Joe Rogan works so well, despite what some idiot journalists want him to do, is Joe Rogan, his interviewing style is like 2 stoners on a couch, and the dude just starts asking you random questions about loading this camera. It's like loading a musket. It's really more like loading a bulldog revolver on horseback. You pop the shells out, you throw the new shells in, put the brake action back up. I think I got it down. Reloading this thing is not that bad, especially when all I got these gloves on. When I did it with the mittens, anything is possible. All right, Joe Rogan's interview style. Like 2 old stoners sitting on a couch. One of them's rolling a joint, asking them the deep, intimate questions. And mostly reserving judgment. In other words, his is really close to what journalism used to be, where it's just like, look, you're going to come on the program, we're going to ask you a few questions. We're not going to make them pointed to our agenda. We're just going to ask honest to God questions. If you don't like them, there's the door. Not, I'm going to probe this guy and I'm going to get what I want out of the deal. It's like, no. You're going to take what he gives you. Well, Joe Rogan is just, he takes what people give him. So, he had some guy on there talking about training, and he's like, if you're training and you're sore, you're doing it wrong. And I was like, what? I said, get the fuck out of here. What's he talking about? And at this point, I was just ready to listen. I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of assholes out here tonight. I'm sore, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I was like, but this is the way it's got to be. And I remember reading years ago, they said, like, when you get to a certain fitness level, you don't have to keep going all out like you've been doing. Like, there's a certain point where you're just exercising for maintenance. And I had it in my head that I was going to bench 315 pounds and squat a ton and, you know, just try to become Superman. And it's like, don't be Superman. Yeah, Superman's nice, but you know Superman never rests. And Superman's got superpowers where you don't have to rest. Be Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor's probably not going to die of a heart attack. But Lex Luthor maintains a decent level of fitness. You know, the problem with following stuff like DC and everything else is, like, they make their characters otherworldly after a certain point. Like, Batman can never exist in real life. There's just no guy who can patrol the streets for 8 hours, run a Fortune 500 company, and try to be a socialite. That something's got to give. You know, they had Affleck in there doing the Batman workout. He's lifting heavy. He's got the chains clanging. And old school, man. And like Affleck probably did that for 3 months to become Batman. And then he went back to a bag of donuts and an occasional walk with the dog. I tripped out that bodybuilders don't even do the stuff I do. Like what I just did, they don't do that. They do 6 different workouts, and the guy said occasionally I do light cardio, and I was like, what the hell is light cardio? Like maybe they walk or something, or they hit an exercise bike for 15 minutes, maybe even jump some rope. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm out here going on 90 minutes doing hill training. I actually kind of dig hill training, especially when I do it like I just did it, you know, 4 quick ones and I'm back. Anyway, yeah, I'll give credit where credit is due. It's like one of those things where I just needed to hear it. I've been hearing it, and that day I just needed to hear it, and I heard the message and I took it to heart. And I just stopped trying to kill myself on every exercise session. Like the way I know that I'm doing okay, sometimes at work I'll be moving something around, or I'll walk up to some area and I'll do something, and the guy next to me is gassing, and I was like, we're not doing that. What we're doing is not that labor intensive, but to him it is. At night, and they're test firing the engines. Uh-oh. What happened, man? limit capacity on the restaurants, and I guess they limited their hours too. Anyway, Texas is under a partial kind of like lockdown thing. They don't want to say the lockdown word, but I'm watching the governor, the premier of Canada, or not Canada, the premier of one of the provinces in Canada. He's telling people, look, stay home. We're shutting everything down. I'm sorry to be the guy to tell you to do this. I don't want to be doing this, but I'm doing it for your good. Yeah, I know. Almost sounded like Struthers Martin, but he was crying. He was like, dude, I don't want to do this. I'm like, how come I can't get that guy? I got Governor Hot Wheels finally telling everybody to mask up. That's about as far as he's going to go as far as, you know, COVID restrictions. Meanwhile, his attorney general's running around pursuing stupid lawsuits when he needs to worry about his ass bonding up in an orange jumpsuit. You know what? I think that's why he did it. He's like, I'll pursue this lawsuit so that later Trump can give me a presidential pardon. That would not surprise me. Ken Paxton gets a pardon next month. And he does it all on the taxpayer's dime. That's the irritating part. Doing a mostly symbolic lawsuit. So how serious do you think the lockdown's going to be? If I go up the street here, if the cockpit's closed, then I'll know, okay, things are shit's hitting the fan. That sounds like a big cargo jet. The guys bringing in the vaccine? live to see the next pandemic. Yeah! Fuck that stop sign. When a more lethal version of the violent version of the swine flu finally comes to the United States. All right. Well, they might. I think they're secretly open. Alright, so at a 75% charge, my battery will last 90 minutes. I want to say that. When did I start? You started right at 8. Like, you started at the 6. It was 7:45 when you left the house. Yeah, you started right at 8. So 1 hour and 38 minutes is what I got out of the battery. The thing is, when the battery goes out on this thing, everybody knows. That beat, man, it does not play. It goes. It makes like a horn noise. It makes like a horn noise and then it just goes out. Anyway, final verdict on these goggles. They're really comfortable. I mean, really comfortable. I just can't run in them, so these will be my walking goggles. High visibility, decent comfort. They are big and bulky, but it doesn't seem to be a problem for my camera. It wasn't bouncing up and down. What I'm gonna have to do is just, while I'm running, don't wear goggles when I'm walking. Holy cow, another barrage show? Damn, dude. These assholes, man. Yep. They even got the flower bed.